Welcome back to Why We Nurse. I'm your host, Serena Tobar. Today, we are talking about interdisciplinary collaboration, but not just as a concept. We're talking about what it really looks like, who's involved, and what makes it work. Because healthcare is not delivered by one person, it is delivered by teams, and at the center of every role, whether you're a nurse, a technician, or a specialist, is one shared truth: caring is the work. Today, you're going to hear from 3 different voices: an exercise physiologist, a patient care technician, and a nurse. Not to compare roles, but to understand how each one contributes to care in ways that matter deeply. And first, I want to kind of address some of the accents that we've had on Why We Nurse. There's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes in my personal life, some things that we've had to be taken care of, some medical emergencies. And so we haven't been as consistent with season 3 as we have with season 1 and season 2. But we are going to get back on our scheduled routine with weekly uploads every single week on Tuesday. So let's get into it. Interdisciplinary collaboration is often described in formal ways: communication, coordination, and teamwork. But in practice, it is much simpler. It's about people showing up for patients and showing up for each other. It's about recognizing that no single role sees the full picture. And it's about respecting that every role brings something special, essential, not optional, to patient care. Because collaboration doesn't work unless we understand each other. And we can't understand each other unless we slow down and listen. Let's start with a role that many people don't immediately think of when they think of healthcare, but one that is critical to recovery and long-term health. This is an exercise physiologist.
My name is Rika, and I'm an exercise physiologist. And healthcare to me means going above and beyond for each and every person that I interact with.
What stands out here is something we don't talk about enough in acute care: what happens after the crisis. Exercise physiologists help patients. They rebuild strength, restore confidence, regain independence. They focus on movement, but what they're really doing is restoring quality of life. And that takes caring, it takes patience, it takes encouragement. It takes seeing the person, not just the condition. This role reminds us that healing doesn't end when the patient leaves the unit. It continues in motion, in effort, and in support. Now let's shift to one of the most present and often most overlooked roles in healthcare. This is a patient care technician.
Hello, my name is Chriselle. I'm a patient care tech. I chose healthcare because I come from that background. All of my family is in healthcare. I have a lot of nurses in my family, and I just love helping people.
I want to pause here because this role matters more than we often acknowledge. PCTs are at the bedside more consistently than most, observing patients in real time, building trust through everyday care. They are the ones who notice the subtle changes, small concerns, and the emotional needs. And often, they are the first voice that should be heard. But here's where collaboration either succeeds or it fails. Do we listen? Because interdisciplinary care is not just about having a team. It's about valuing every voice on that team. PCTs don't just support care. They are a core part of care. And what they bring, their presence, attentiveness, compassion, is deeply rooted in caring. I will say that my PCTs that I have worked with have been some of the most amazing team members. We have been able to give bed baths in 10 minutes or less, clean sheets, hair brushed and braided, feet lotioned, the whole 9 yards. It takes that team effort. We have to remember as nurses that PCTs are not there to do it all for us. They are an extension of what we do. Their role is not something that is excluded from our role. As long as we remember that teamwork, that collaboration, our patients are going to get a better quality experience. They are going to have that caring and compassionate care, and they are going to really be able to start to heal. Now let's transition to the lens of nursing. This is an RN.
Hi, my name is Erica Henderson. I'm a registered nurse, and being a registered nurse means to me being able to help those in need and seeing what I do in their treatment process, in their healing process, being a part of that journey and watching them come full circle, and just feeling fulfilled at the end of the day and knowing that I helped in making a positive change in this person's life, whether it was something as minor as holding their hand as they're going through a process, or holding a loved one's hand as they are receiving some sort of negative news for their loved one, the patient, just being there for them. That is what nursing means to me.
Nurses often serve as the connector, bringing together information, coordinating care, and advocating for patients. It seems like every single day a new task is added on for nursing. We are the last line of defense for harm to reach that patient. It is up to nurses to catch all the mistakes from pharmacy, from providers, from everywhere, all the mistakes. That is our responsibility to catch. And it can be very overwhelming. But we have to remember that nursing does not exist in isolation. It depends on one, the observations of the PCT, the rehabilitation work of the exercise physiologist, and three, the contributions of every single discipline. Because collaboration isn't just about one role leading, it is a shared responsibility for caring. When you look at these roles side by side, something becomes clear. They are different in function, but united in purpose. The exercise physiologist focuses on the recovery, the movement, the muscles. The PCT focuses on presence, the caring, the brushing of the hair, the bathing, the holding of the hand. And that nurse focuses on coordination and advocacy, making sure that harm does not reach the patient. But all three roles are grounded in the same thing, and that is caring. Caring is not owned by one profession. It is expressed differently, but it is present in all of them, from the PCT to the exercise physiologist to the nurse. And when that caring is supported by communication, respect, and trust, that's when true interdisciplinary collaboration happens. Interdisciplinary collaboration should not be something that happens in theory only. This should be something that is practiced every single day. If you're listening as a healthcare professional, I want to leave you with this. Who are you collaborating with well? Who might you need to listen to more closely? Because strong teams don't happen by accident. They happen when we choose to see, hear, and value one another. I want to thank you for listening to Why We Nurse. And I want to thank you for being patient as we work through some of the behind the scenes issues that have kept us away from the podcast. I want to remind you that we are going to be back stronger than ever with new uploads every single Tuesday. Follow at Why We Nurse for more conversations that matter, and catch us on where you listen to your favorite podcasts. Until next time, stay connected, stay compassionate, and remember why you nurse.